registered dietitian, fitness trainer, and lifestyle coach of BJJ.com. I am also a competitive jiu-jitsu athlete, so I wanted today talk a little bit about my essential tips if you are a beginner in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. This is super important, and a little bit about my background so you know where I'm at in this sport. I'm a purple belt with 2 stripes at this point. Some schools do stripes, some schools don't, but I've been training for 7 years. And it's absolutely a love of mine. I've been doing martial arts since I was 7. Basically, my entire life I've been doing martial arts. There are some really crucial tips that I've learned over the years, not just in jiu-jitsu, but in martial arts as a whole, that really will help you exceed when you are a beginner. Be sure to watch to the end of the video so you can get my free guide on how to get shredded core, which is essential in developing your technique in jiu-jitsu. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 1 has to do with respect of the dojo, the dojang that you're in. And the biggest way that you show respect towards that is bowing on and off the mat. It's not known to the public for people who have never done martial arts that they know that they have to do that, but really it is a sacred environment where you're creating a family, a culture, and you have this set of rules and boundaries, and bowing on and off the mat is essential. And you have to do that to show respect, to show that you're there to learn and that you're a student and you're not just some big meat-headed person, male or female, just trying to, be the best in the room, because really you're not going to be. So show that respect and you will get the respect. Tip number 2 has to do with hygiene. And yes, if you're not familiar with grappling but you're interested in it, there's a lot of faces and butts and faces, and so you gotta be comfortable with each other. And not only that, but you have to be respectful and courteous, and so you want to make sure that your uniform, your gi is washed and your fingernails are trimmed, you're wearing deodorant, not necessarily wearing perfume, but you want to make sure that you are just being hygienic, because 1, you want to reduce your risk for getting any kind of staph infection or ringworm, anything like that, because you're having other people's sweat drip on you. And I know this sounds disgusting, but it's just the truth. So in order to reduce your risk, not just for yourself, but for your other teammates, you really want to make sure that you are being really conscious with your hygiene. My 3rd tip is to accept that you are a beginner. And this is near and dear to my heart because, like I said, I did martial arts my entire life. And I was a very high level competitor in Taekwondo, and so starting a new sport at a white belt again was kind of like a culture shock, because I was so experienced. So it took me a while to realize, I'm a beginner, it's okay to start learning again and not necessarily teaching, because I was always teaching and kind of took that role. So accept that you're a beginner and there's going to be everything that you don't know, okay? So don't try to know it all in a week. It's not going to happen. It takes years, it takes practice, it takes application, and it takes patience. So be patient with yourself. You're learning a new skill, you're leaving your comfort zone to learn a new skill. So just embrace that and embrace the journey, because it definitely gets harder as you get in the higher ranks, as I am starting to learn. So just, again, be patient with yourself, accept that you're a beginner, and enjoy the journey. My 4th tip is to pay attention to the culture of your dojo. Now, what I mean by this is that every dojo has a different vibe. There are certain dojos that are a little bit more meatheadish, and no offense to those dojos, but they just are. They're more mainly men and masculine and just really rough and tumble. And then there's more that include a lot of women, so they tend to be a little bit more gentle, but still, implementing the jiu-jitsu, which can only be so gentle, but their environment, their atmosphere is a little bit better. So you want to just take note of these different atmospheres, and if you are somebody who is maybe just strong-headed, don't want to conform to the culture, then maybe that gym is not right for you, and you don't want to disrupt that culture. And you also aren't going to get the best experience of jiu-jitsu if you're in the wrong culture that fits your personality. So it's really essential to assess the culture and see if it's the right fit for you, so that you can excel, and not only you, but so that your teammates can excel and the environment is good for everybody. That said, while you're on the mat, you want to pay attention to what the higher belts are doing. How are they standing? Are they being receptive and open and helpful? And then these are the kind of traits that you want to take on so that you can become a better beginner, but also so you can exceed a little bit better, as opposed to being closed-minded and just stuck in your ways, which you don't even have ways yet because you're new at this. It's just a really important tip for you to start opening up your mind and engaging and learning and evolving. My 5th tip is to ask questions, but not too many. Now, why is that? I am so known for being just inquisitive My 6th grade teacher told me that I was inquisitive, and I've been inquisitive my entire life, so I'm a little guilty of that. However, like I said in the 3rd tip, accept that you are a beginner, right? In saying that, you can ask certain questions that make sense to what you're learning, but don't sit there and ask, what's a berimbolo? And for those of you who might not know what that is yet, don't even YouTube it because it's way too advanced, and if you are 6 months into your jiu-jitsu journey, you're going to be very disappointed when you cannot execute that. So stick to the basics, ask questions that are related to what you're currently learning. Don't get in over your head, YouTube, Google a whole bunch of stuff and think you know it all. Again, it's getting it over your head is going to make you fail in jiu-jitsu. Just take it as a process, take it as a journey, and just realize that you can ask questions, especially to the higher belts, but you just don't want to be that person who's asking every 2 seconds, like everything you're learning. Like, just take a minute to process what you're learning and then just figure it out as you go. And it's way easier said than done, but the quicker you can do that, the more successful you will be. This last one is very funny to me because it was literally my entire white belt career, except the defensive position. So what I mean by that, if you're extremely new, like weeks, that basically means as a white belt, you're going to get beat up a lot and beat around the bush. You are a beginner, you don't know much, and then you're gonna go against people who know a lot more stuff. So you're going to get in a position where you are doing a lot of defense, and you don't need to be discouraged by that. You just need to take it as a learning experience and figure out what you can what is your natural instinct, because most of the time that's probably right, to do in this situation. Because again, especially if you're like a month in, there isn't even that many days that you can learn so many techniques to defend what some of the higher belts are doing. So really, don't be discouraged about it. You just want to take it one step at a time and just accept that you're going to be in a defensive position for most of your white belt career. And as you get better, you're going to start learning how to manipulate the weight distribution and actually using those advanced techniques and just actually able to execute even basic techniques the more you just get into the sport itself. So again, thanks guys for watching. I'm super excited to make this video and to do more jiu-jitsu related videos. This video, and are interested in more, give it a thumbs up, comment below your favorite tip. Let me know if you have a tip that is helpful for other newbies starting with jiu-jitsu.